On this episode of Hudson Valley Hustle, I'm joined by Malik Adjoyi. Malik owns the Good Game Lounge in the Palisades Mall. His business is super positive for kids in the community. You're really going to love this episode. His story is awesome. Hope you enjoy. Are you living the gamer's dream of owning a gaming lounge?
Essentially, in a sense. It's a lot of fun. It does have a lot of upsides, but a lot of people don't know, I'm sure you guys know, is that how much work goes into keeping it, you know? The gamer life every day, playing with your friends and family all the time, all the kids, it's a lot of fun. It's super fun. But then you have to convince a lot of parents to spend money for their kids to play games, which is the big psyop that we spend all of our time is trying to figure out how to do. But it's definitely dope.
Yeah,
it's definitely fun.
Like, how can it not be, right? I mean, obviously the business side of things is something that I think a lot of business owners a lot of entrepreneurs don't take into account when they're putting together the dream, right? Yeah. It's you want to do the thing you love every single day, and that's what I want to go to work and do, and that's what I want to get paid to do. But then it's like, guess what? You still got to do the other stuff too, right? You still have to
do the other stuff. It never goes away.
No, it does not. And that's why having a good team around you is helpful. Do you have a team around you that can help with some of that stuff, or is a lot of it you?
That is well, currently it's a lot of it me. When we first started, I had probably the best team ever. It was like a dream team because I formed it with my family. The first original kids that I got were like my first families that booked parties and they stayed and then they became interns and then they became they were amazing, but they grew up. They went to college, and so now I have new people who love what's going on but don't understand kind of like how it started and like what it takes to like make it work, you know? So yeah, the team is like actually like the biggest part of it. And without a big team, most of it falls on me. And then trying to do the have fun every day and game with all the people who come in, and then also try to run the business becomes chaotic. So
yeah, So take me back though. Like, where's the origin story for this? You told me, I think, on the phone a little bit of the story, but if you can give me that again, that'd be awesome.
COVID, when everything shut down, when everything was like, you know, you can't go outside, you can't drive, everyone was locked down. That's when we psychotically decided to start this. I never thought that I would like start a game lounge. I actually wanted to be like a game designer when I was going to college and stuff. Found out that you need a lot of math and to be a good game designer. But essentially when COVID happened, before COVID happened, I was always kind of doing little get-togethers, game nights, little tournaments and stuff because I guess we have to go back a little bit more. When I was younger, I had a lot of surgeries. I had a weird hip. The actual condition is called coxavara. So you know, if you know hip dysplasia and pit bulls, it's the same thing.
Okay.
And so I had like several surgeries, and all through my childhood, all I did when my family came by, we played video games. You know, that was our bonding moment. You know, I couldn't physically go anywhere, so that's what we did. And when I got better, I did it with my friends, did it with the community. So we did a really big tournament right before COVID in the Jefferson Valley Mall. We had like 100 people come by. It was like really exciting. And when COVID happened and everything was shut down, the Palisades Mall was trying to reinvent itself. You know, the mall traffic in every mall around the world became really terrible. So they were trying new ideas. They gave me a call and actually asked me if I wanted to try to set up the same thing that I did at the other place. I didn't know anything about business and I had no money at all. I just
sounds like every entrepreneur ever.
I just kind of said yes because they were like, you know, we'll give you a good deal. You know, if you want to try it out, we'll give you a few months free. We'll let you pick whatever space. I had no idea that they were suffering financially at the time. Like it was just like I thought I was being given an opportunity, so I said yes. I went over there. I picked a spot right in the middle of the mall. It was really cool. We set it all up, borrowed consoles from friends, brought my consoles from home. We got, you know, I got married at the time and it was my birthday. I took whatever money I had from that and just bought whatever else, couches. It was such a makeshift operation, but it was a spot for people to kind of hang out and be when everything was closed. People can have birthday parties. You could have birthday parties at the lounge because everything was 6 feet apart. Everything was like made for COVID. And if you did a party, it was only with your friends and family anyway. So it was cool. So we made it initially as like a safe haven, as like a place where people could still be people. You know, you didn't have to be like, oh my God, don't touch me, don't come near me. Like, you could still have fun, do your activities that you would do at home, but would still be with people. And then it just kind of grew. You know, we just kept on doing it. We've been doing this experiment for like 4 years now. So.
That's amazing. So from 4 years ago to now, what has it become? So basically, what's the rundown of what it is you guys offer from?
Well, so after COVID like ended, and we thought it was after like COVID like, you know, stopped being a thing, lockdown stopped being a thing. We had to kind of like make a transition because like during that time, you know, I don't know if you guys are gamers in any capacity, but like you couldn't buy PS5s, you couldn't buy any consoles during that time also. So we were like one of the few places where you could even play a PS5, you know. So that was all we needed. All we needed was a PS5 and doing birthday parties, and we were set. And then once the world opened back up again, we had to kind of make a shift because people were able to get consoles, people were able to, you know, buy all the. And I felt like I was showing everybody all the cool stuff that was out. Their parents were like, "Cool, that's awesome." They went and bought it, so it was like a double-edged sword. I would have kids come out, and then they would go buy the stuff. I would probably never see them again. Some kids came back. But now we made the shift because now I had kids. Now I have kids. I didn't have kids when I started. Now I have two boys. We made a shift to like more of like education and community involvement. We started doing a lot of STEM programs, Photoshop classes, video editing classes, coding, PC building. Basically everything we did to start it, because we get all these kids, I want to be a YouTuber, you know, like I want to be a professional gamer. Like we do tournaments and stuff. So like we just kind of take the nerds that exist in the world and show them that they could stay that way and also like develop a life path. You know, like you can use these skills. All of our classes are like focused on transferable skills. Like, you know, there's a lot of special needs kids that we get that thrive in our community. You know, that there's not a lot of programs set up for them where they can like actually like be a person. You know, they'll always treat like the special needs guy who works at ShopRite who has to push their carts because they have to hire someone. But they can like be almost a supervisor at my place because like they know how all the equipment works. They know what all the kids are into. And they open up. So it's like it's become like a really cool like work site / game version of the YMCA where we do all these community programs, events, family focused events, and we're just kind of there for the people. You know, we're that spot where people just forget all the crap that's going on, all the people who are annoying us all the time, and turn their phones off and just vibe out. You know. So
do the parents get more receptive to you now that you offer things like that, especially on the special needs side? Because I feel like that's huge.
It helps. And actually, that's why we're still here, you know, because we started working with families and communities in school, like BOCES and Bridges and stuff. It's what we are trying to focus on now is like servicing like a specific area because we kind of just get like little agreements and contracts in different places.
Okay.
But yeah, it's more of like trying to actually work to implement ourselves as that staple. It's like, hey, we're here not just to have a good time and party, but like actually generally take care of, you know, people and children, and like it's a safe space, you know. So it's been pretty cool.
That's great. Yeah, because you said, you know, it's a challenge to get parents to open up their wallet for something that the kid has at home, right? But if you add that community involvement in there, and you're offering more of a benefit than just, hey, you're going to come here and play video games. Mm-hmm. I think that's a huge value proposition, I would think, as a parent.
So it's funny because this is what I spend most of my time doing is training people to understand that that's what we are. Like my kids that come in, it's such a love-hate relationship because there's so many great kids that come. Some have a business sense, you know, which are fantastic, you know, and then I can just train them on skills and they just go to work. And then there's the kids that come by who are just in the life, and they're like old versions of me. So like I love them too and I accept them, but they're bad employees, you know? And so it's like I find myself as like the granddaddy of like all these children, and I have to like have that conversation sometimes with certain parents where it's like your child has been interning for like 6 weeks, 7 weeks, you know, you're wondering like how do they segue to like being an employee. they kind of have to get better because they're not. But it's good because our whole thing is like where players become champions. So whether it's like in the work or academic field, or if it's like gaming and tournaments and stuff like that, we just want people to come and like raise their skill level. Like whatever it is, if we can help you, if we have somebody, an expert in the field who can help you, we connect you with that and we help you grow. So that's the whole idea.
That's awesome, man. It sounds super positive, right? Like
fun.
there's a lot of negativity around gamers and like the nerd culture and the gamer life and all that. And like I've been a gamer since I was a little kid. I remember playing Tetris for the first time on a Game Boy, and that was it. Hooked, hasn't stopped. My 2 kids are gamers now. My 3-year-old loves playing Geometry Dash on a tablet, and my 8-year-old is working his way through Tears of the Kingdom right now. And like that's just what we do. It's just part of what we do now. And it's not a bad thing. There's a lot of good that can come out of that, especially when you surround yourself with good people.
They actually train military using video games. They actually train soldiers. It's like there is a lot of negativity around it, but I feel like it's less, especially now. There is so many options out there. We get people who come by who don't understand anything about games, which is funny when you run into it, but they still exist. But for the most part, it's it's just like movies. It's just like anything. Content is just like anything. Games are just like anything. So it's like there are games that are just random senseless violence. And, I have kids who are obsessed with zombie hunter games, and it's kind of scary because you wonder like what they're into, like outside of video games. And then, and then I have kids who are just super innocent, want to play Mario Kart, want to play Smash Brothers, just Roblox and stuff like that. So we take that into account too. And when kids come by and parents come by, like the grandparents who come with their kids and don't know anything about what's going on. And it's funny when they think that we're speaking like another language, when we start talking about Fortnite and skills and stats, and they're just like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. You already brought the child here. You did your job.
They get it. Like the kid gets it.
Yeah, we're talking right now. So, but we take that into account. It's like, we're not going to show 5-year-olds GTA or something like that. So, but yeah, this is the life.
Absolutely. What's been the hardest thing for you to get over, going from being the gamer to being the business owner who runs a gaming lounge?
Having to be a mean person sometimes.
How?
That's the, and not mean, but really like having to be a boss. I've been a friend, good big brother, uncle to a lot of the team members because, like I said, it's just been a rolling adventure of people coming around and joining the team and helping out. So it's hard to say that you're being lazy and you're not doing what I need you to do and stuff like that. So, but recently, think about like last October, I was just like, I was really going over the books. I was like, listen, if I'm going to keep this, I think actually when I had my second child, that's what you'll have. I had my second child and I was like, these babies cost money. And then I started thinking about my life differently. So when I started it like the whole business went from something that I wanted to work. And then when I had kids, it was like, this has to work, so that made the change biologically in myself. And then once that happened, I looked at my team differently. I'm like, do you see these kids that you play with? Because my kids, my wife, we all are at the store every day. Like we all do this every day. The kids are almost basically born at the store, So the whole team, they play with them, Kai and Baki, they like, a part of the whole thing. I was like, these kids that you guys play with that like, destroy stuff half the time and everything, like I have to feed them, and all these, and you guys ask me for money. I have to feed you guys also. And that's when I really started thinking about everyone as like my children. I was like, oh my God, like I need to do more as like an adult male, like as a father. So once that happened, I was like, okay, so now stop playing games. Everyone do this, and that's become more, I feel like once that happened in me, it translated more to the team. So everything's just moving a little bit better now.
Yeah.
But that was definitely the biggest change. It's like when you have an environment, when you want to keep the vibe is your paycheck. Like the atmosphere is what makes you money. It's like you don't want to ruin that. Mm-hmm. But you have to learn how to separate the personalities,
Yeah.
So
it sounds like you're managing a lot of different ones too. Like how many people are you managing on a regular basis?
I don't remember. Like core team that I pay directly, just 4.
Okay.
But there's so many interns now from different organizations. We get them from Bridges now. We get them from BOCES, from Children's Village. And because like somehow we made the transition to being a work site, and that's great. But now I'm in the process of training my team to be able to train the new people, so that I don't have to be so involved. So it's tough because like I actually do enjoy being involved. I like the process. I like helping people. I like working with people. And if I get it to a point where like I guess it can take care of itself, I can probably do it on a bigger scale, working with like the organizations themselves instead of like being locked in a store all the time. But that's definitely like I guess just like the hardest part is I'm doing a lot of emotional management pretty much all the time. I feel like the avatar. And it's but that's the gig. That's the gig right now. I get asked a lot of time from people who want to start it, like a lot of other entrepreneurs who would think about franchising or opening up in another place. I'm like, unless you have a game master, it's not going to work. You can buy the TVs, you can buy the consoles, you can set it there. Kids will come and play, but unless you have someone there who's actually understands the lifeblood of what's going on, like the kids in their language and like the technology and the business side of it, it's not. It's just a room. It's just a man cave. So I have to find a balance. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at right now, just trying to weigh it out.
Yeah, because you took something that you love to do and made it into the thing you have to do. And a lot of times, I feel like that can put a sour taste in somebody's mouth about the thing you love to do because now it's work. Sometimes. Do you feel like that sometimes?
Sometimes. Then I wash it out with playing more games.
That's cool. That's fine.
but sometimes, yeah. So, but it's it like you said originally, it has its rewarding moments when you get a group of kids from, let's say, Children's Village. They're like my biggest client right now. They're a great organization where they take care of like kids who come from not so great backgrounds or don't have a good family support structure, and they just give them education, place to live, like all that stuff. So they send them out to my location. They've been coming for the whole time, actually, since I've been open. And they have, there's been times where I told them that I was struggling. Like actually when last year when I realized that I had to like really start ramping it up, I was like, telling them, I was like, hey, I don't know if I'm going to be here unless I like really start doing things differently. And they were like, you have to stay here. Like there are kids that like might kill themselves if you're not here. I'm like, first of all, relax. That's like really deep. Like, but they're like, no, like they don't have other outlets and stuff like that. And then, so once I started getting people coming to like talk to me in that way, I was just like, wow, like I didn't know that this thing that I started for fun had like this impact on people. So that also helps. So, it helps with the mental and,
so it's not just playing games. It's not just playing games.
It's more than just
but it's way more than that. You're giving so many kids an opportunity to learn a skill, learn how to work, learn how to be in the workforce, and that is huge. That is such a big positive thing you can give to the community, and to do it around the thing that you enjoy to do the most. That's the dream, man.
That is the dream. Yes,
literally the dream.
Technically living it, but it's not so sweet, But yes, it is. Right, it is the dream.
Yeah, but that's why not everybody does it. Because there would be, how many gaming lounges would there be if it was simple, right? Yeah. I would probably own a gaming lounge because I love video games, right? But it's not as easy as it is. But your spin on it is really, it's pretty admirable that you're offering this opportunity to a lot of organizations that need a place for these kids to find an outlet and a place to do things that they love and grow and learn at the same time. That's freaking awesome. I think that's amazing. Tell me about the Palisades, though. Palisades is a pretty big mall, and you have a pretty sizable spot in there. What's it like having that kind of appearance?
They are dope. Like it's like malls in general, I feel like are really, really hard to do business in right now. But if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have this.
Sure.
So it's like I've had a lot of stores, a lot of other malls come. Hey, you want to set it up over here? You want to like come to this area? People ask me like, would a standalone location like be better? And I'm just like, it wouldn't, because like I made the idea like in the mall. So it's like everything that we do was kind of centered around that model. Maybe if we get to a point where I do franchise and open it up, like we can have some standalone locations because like I guess were known at that point. But you know, they're pretty good. Like they go through their own struggles.
Yeah.
But I like everybody that I've worked with so far. They've always kind of just, and they've been there for the whole ride. They were there when I had no kids, and they were there and celebrated when I had my babies, who were basically born in their mall almost. And they've been kind of holding it down for me, and they work with me a lot. So
It's a big deal to have a spot there.
I guess they're part of my team.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so that section of my team has been good.
That's
you
good
know?
that they're supportive of that because,
Yeah.
I mean, there's horror stories of landlords and tenants and like all that kind of stuff.
I get
can
them.
imagine.
I've seen so many people come and go. I've been through
Yeah.
like 3 exoduses of the mall, of just like no stores, full of stores, no stores, full of stores.
Yeah.
And I've been there. So at this point now, going on 5 years is like weird.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so.
Yeah. Like what about, so malls are struggling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because retail, as we knew it growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, is not what it used to be, right? It's online. Retail stores in the mall are dying. They're
COVID
huge spaces.
exacerbated it.
Oh, absolutely. The rents are insane. The square footage is insane, and the malls have to fill them, right? So I see we're seeing a lot of experience type places going into malls as opposed to retail type spaces. Are you seeing a lot of that? Do you think that helps you be successful? Is that you're more of an experience than hey, I'm going to sell video games?
Definitely 100% more of an experience, yes. And that was part of the mental shift that I had to make myself. That it was not just games and parties that we had to offer. We had to do something more. And they're actually, the mall itself is making that shift. They're adding more experiences, more fun stuff, virtual. But like we offer that like cross hybrid of like being that fun place and also that educational space, that academic space. And I think that's what you have to do to try to survive in a mall setting at this point. Because otherwise, if you're just a product, it can be ordered online. You know.
True. Yeah, absolutely. Are the I don't know how deep like you want to get into the numbers, but is the rent insane at a place like the Palisades? Because I can't even imagine.
It is pretty, mall like. I can't, it's there. But that is for me. I will say I'm blessed with the mall working with me. They for the space that I have, it's actually interesting. So talking about the moving of businesses, big business and small business. My first location was on the first floor by Old Navy and Sephora. It was long and it was skinny. And we had like 12 consoles to start with. After 2 years and COVID was quote unquote over, a big company, Urban Outfitters.
Yep.
Gonna call you out. Don't know if you'll see this or whatever, but whatever. Urban Outfitters really wanted to move into the mall. The mall's been trying to get Urban Outfitters in the mall for a long time. So out of all the places, they really wanted my store. They wanted that location. So the mall, they love me, but they don't love me that much. I don't have, So they asked me to move. They gave me time, they gave me a lot of time and everything. So, and they gave me options just so I can choose from like all these other places that are open. So I didn't want to move, but I had to move. The place is bigger, they gave me a good deal on rent, so it's fine. So my rent is not as crazy as my neighbors.
Okay.
But yeah, the mall rent is mall rent. So it's a big mall, so they have bills to pay, so it's a lot. I'm not gonna disclose like my number though. I feel like that's not fair.
That's all right. No, that's all good. I just feel like I know it's got to be a nut. It has to be.
But like it's just, even with that though, still it's like it's at the end of the day, I still kind of start from zero. I like part of the reason why they also did that is because like the location I have, AC doesn't work and they don't fix it. I have to fix it. So it's like it's a whole unit, some ancient unit that came with the building. So it's
Gotcha.
It's a lot. But it's every month I kind of start from zero still because it's just like since I don't have like a baseline of a one set community that I'm serving because we're in the Palisades, it's more of a tourist mall. We get a lot of people who don't live there coming as our customers. A lot of our biggest customers actually come from the city.
Okay.
So in Rockland County, it's great. We do a lot of things like locally, but for the people who are here, they don't use us as like for our big events. They usually use us for like our events, our daily events and stuff. So we have to kind of always like restart the ball every month, just making it work. So, But yeah, it's a balance. It's all a balance.
Yeah. So you have a pretty supportive family of the business.
If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to do it. You know, I mean, and because like my family was there with me, you know, from surgery, knowing like they know it's me. I think it wasn't even like a business idea. It was like, oh, Malik's gonna do what he does in a bigger place. Cool. Like they come all the time, you know, and they play games and watch the babies sometimes. Thank God. And so it's supposed to be a family business and a family spot. It's supposed to be come and see us and my family and how we interact. And if you want to be a part of it, cool.
Yeah.
That's so, you know, yeah, I have a pretty supportive family.
How much time do you spend there?
All the time.
So you have to be open when the mall's open?
All the time. Yes. I did just recently take like my first vacation in 4 years, which was awesome. You know, took the kids to a water park. It was great, you know. But yeah, I'm there all the time. All the time. I mean, but like ultimately, even like it was like kind of like a slogan thing that me and my brother kind of came up with. It was like, we're open hurricanes and holidays. It doesn't even matter, you know, because like Christmas, Thanksgiving, like at the end of the day, we do stuff for the family. And then what are we doing right after dinner and stuff? We're playing video games, right? If we're gamers, that's what we're doing. So if I have more games at the lounge, why would I be at home? My whole family is also at the lounge. So why would I be at home? So we're there for the customers. We open up and you'd be surprised the amount of people who are just walking around a mall on holidays when everything else is closed and they're not doing anything. So we've become kind of like this house of refuge for people like dissidents and incels and like whatever it is. Like if you're not someone who is supported by your family and stuff like that, as long as you're safe, come and be a part of my family and like you can hang out, you know, and you can vibe, just, you know, whatever it is. So it's cool, you know. It is what I like to do and what I have to do at the same time, but I get to do what I like to do. But then that's the balance for the people who come in. They see me living like this life and they're like, cool, I'm going to come and hang out and play video games and get paid for it. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You get to play sometimes, but I need you to help me make it happen. Otherwise, you know, we're not going to have this amazing.
None of you are going to be able to at that point. Exactly. No,
yeah.
that's great, man. It's a good story. It sounds like a really positive place. If people want to get in touch with you or visit the lounge, where is it? Give us the website. Give us all the deets.
gglounge.com is the website. We put up our monthly calendars up there all the time. gglounge.com for the Instagram. Good Game Lounge for the Facebook. Pretty much, you know, if you're ever in Rockland County, Nyack, we're in the Palisades Mall, 3rd floor, next to Five Below. And yeah, we're always open. So just like come by and just vibe out, you know.
Nice, man. Thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right. See you soon.
Still.